and welcome to Dip into the Ink. I'm Noah, and on this channel, me and sometimes a friend goes through a comic book page by page. And today we have recurring guest Rodolfo Juarez Pinedo III, wearing kind
Hello.
of a little bit of a revealing tank top. I'm not sure.
Oh,
Like,
it's a,
why'd
it's
you?
a, it's a blooming 72 degrees in
Yeah.
Southern California. It's spring is almost in the air.
You really
I'm
wanted to show
ready.
off
I'm ready.
you wanted to show off your
Ooh,
collarbones.
ooh,
Like, ooh.
ooh. What do you think? What do you think of them, Noah?
Everyone leave a comment down below what you think of Rudy's collarbones.
It's hot. It was a hot day
It
today.
was weirdly warm, which is annoying because it just rained as of this recording. Like 3 days of rain and now it's warm. Like, make up your
Yeah,
mind.
and then it's gonna rain again in a couple days. Look at us
Mm.
talking about the weather. Look, we're spoiled
No,
here.
we're old men. We're old men. But today we are very excited to talk about Transformers issue 8 of the Mike
Oh,
Spicer, Daniel Warren Johnson run. Oh
oh,
my
the good stuff.
the good stuff. I'm having a lot of fun with this one, and I'm slowly becoming a Transformers fan myself. So let's just
Yes, that's my goal to convert at least one friend
Mhm.
to become a Transformers fan.
It's kind of working, but let's
Oh,
dive
there you
straight
go.
into the issue. Let's just dive straight into the issue. I want to apologize to everyone if the audio is messed up. It's because after like that fifth, I don't know how many episodes of this I've done. After 10 episodes, I still don't know OBS recorder, and I apologize.
Come on, Noah. Get on
uh
it.
I'll figure it out eventually, but we're, we're gonna cut to our first, just honestly the cover. Daniel Warren Johnson, Mike Spicer Transformers. This is a brilliant cover in my opinion, just because like you see, now that I know the significance of that arm, this means so much. It's the torn arm of Megatron, and you have Optimus's face like shined, reflected on the barrel of the laser gun, and it's insane. It's like on top of all these other guns. It's insane. But what do you think of the cover?
Oh, it's beautiful. And yeah, you're right. Like it's the gun to rule
Mm-hmm.
all guns. Like this cannon has killed millions.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see, and I could see why Optimus' face is like that. I was like, oh shit, like
Mm-hmm.
this thing is powerful. What I'm gonna cause some destruction with this thing. This isn't just any weapon. This is Megatron's arm cannon, right?
There's like
So I could
symbolism
see,
behind it.
yeah, yeah, and like I
Mm-hmm.
could see maybe I get a hint of like hesitation with this thing too. It's like, oh my god, like what am I doing? But
Mm-hmm.
as we'll find out, they're in the middle of a war, and when like any war, right? When desperate times call for desperate measures.
Mm-hmm. That's true, 100%. When push comes to shove, what will you do in order to win? But past this cover, we go to our Energon Universe Transformers issue 5 with Daniel Warren Johnson as writer artist, Mike Spicer colorist, Russ Rutan as letterer. Sorry if I said it wrong. And we go to our first page. Throughout the series, I think you and I have very much stated about there's such clear parallels between Spike and Optimus.
That's
Uh,
right. You picked on
uh,
it at first. I didn't see it at
mhm.
first, but I like how they're bonding. Oh, it's
Yeah.
sad, but they're kind of bonding over their own traumas of war. And we see this right with the first page, right? We see Spike and again, like just like we
Mhm.
said, mentioned, or like the parallels. We see Spike's like brothers in arms, right? And then we see Optimus Prime with his brothers too. Like we see
Mhm.
Blaster back there. I see Bumblebee in the back. I see Blaster getting blown to a little bit on the left
Mhm.
side right there. And then we see Spike's teammates getting like shot. And then I think that's Swerve that Optimus Prime is holding.
I love that you
So
can just pick them out. You know which who is who. You can just pick them out of the crowd.
I recognize that color scheme, but
Mhm.
I guess like there's that saying, right? Even like one thing I like about like switching gears very quickly, like the Fallout series
Mhm.
of the video game. I'm not sure if you ever played it, but they always
I
have
have
this
not.
thing. They always start off all the video games with "War never changes," and I think this is a good example of it, right? Whether you're
Mhm.
human or robot, war is war. It's just destruction and killing.
Exactly. And we kind of see that in the next pages. So we cut from these parallels, and it's more, it's almost showing them doing like the exact same
Yeah.
poses. I mean, you see Spike about to like bash someone with the butt of his rifle, and then there's a panel underneath it of Optimus with his energy axe, I guess, about to hit someone. And they're in the exact same pose.
Energon
Fuck.
axe,
Oh my god.
Noah.
I'm sorry. I'm still learning.
actually, actually, Noah, it's an Energon axe.
Sorry, his energon axe. I
Thank you.
apologize. But it's interesting because we finally get some dialogue, and Spike says, "How long was your war?" Oh, I'm sorry. I think this is Transform Optimus saying, he's like, "How long was your
Optimus.
war?" And Spike says, "Just one tour." And it's very funny because he said, "It was enough. How was yours?" And Optimus is like, "Years and years and years and years and years and years."
It drags on
Mhm.
because in some lore, it lasts about 1,000,000 years.
Oh shit.
1,000,000 years of just nonstop devastation and ongoing back and forth. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose some ground. It's always
Mhm.
a back and forth, back and forth. Sometimes it stops, sometimes it starts again. There's a little peace for a little bit, comes back, So I get what he says, like years and years. And you can hear like I could hear Optimus Prime like dragging it on, like it's
Years
been
and
too
years and
long,
years.
years and years. Oh man, I feel I can even hear the tiredness in his voice when he says that.
I want to say shout out once again to the artist and the colorist because these opening pages of just Optimus like staring out this, I guess, hospital church window, and just the shading on the walls and all the little details on the control panels, and it's all so well done. I
I agree.
am
It's very
It's
beautiful.
so beautiful. I love it. But Spike asked him a very big question. He says, why is this like this?" And Optimus says something I think is so brilliant. He says, "When I see my reflection, I see that I am the very thing I'm fighting against." Like, man is man's own biggest enemy, and it applies to the Transformers. They are their own biggest enemy. There's no
100%.
overarching. Well, right now, I'm sure there are bigger villains out there in the universe, but like, it's a symbolism of war and self destruction within your own species, and it's perpetuated by us, and it's just so sad.
I agree. I also like how shoot what
Spike,
Noah, what's the
Spike,
editors? No, what the Sky Warp? What's it called? Skybound? The
Skybound.
editor. Okay, Skybound. I know. I like
No,
how
they're the
they
publisher.
are
They're the
the
publishers.
publisher. Yeah, I like how they're continuing the trend of that IDW first landed off with. It's with the Transformers comics that it's not just Autobots versus Decepticons. It's not just good
Hmm.
guys versus bad guys. War is not so black and white. And I like how Optimus says that, right? Like the very thing I'm trying to fight against, I have become as well. That's what war does to people, right? And sometimes you
Hmm.
got to ask yourself, like, am I really, am I the good guy? Are we the good guys in this kind of war? So I like how they're continuing that little trend because it's the truth. War, like you little said it before, it's destructive. It's devastating. People,
Hmm.
innocent people die. It's not so simple. There's. I don't think there's ever been
Hmm.
such thing as a good guy versus a bad guy, and and that and I think there's even for those who don't know, like we did speech and debate at one point too. I remember Grant, our professor, and one of the things he told me, I'll
He
never
was
forget. Right?
Russian.
Yes, he was
Russian.
Russian,
Rudy.
Armenian. Yes, it's like
Oh, sorry. He was Armenian. I'm sorry. I don't want to discredit. I don't want to discredit his heritage. He was Armenian. Thank you for correcting me.
Armenian. But I think I said it a little bit ago, but I always liked how he said it, right? Like
Hmm.
as you go forth and try to fight and defeat the dragon, you gotta be careful that you don't become the dragon yourself,
Hmm.
And that's the one thing that popped in my mind when Optimus said that line. Because I'm sure he's wondering that too. He has Megatron's arm cannon. He's seen he killed a freaking deer. He stepped on a
Hmm.
deer. Like I get like he's in a whole new
Hmm.
world. It's taking a toll on him.
And just the casualties of his war has already happened. There's already been casualties, I'm sure.
100%. Oh yeah, as we
But
clearly saw a little bit ago.
yes, in the last issue with the hospital. But we go to the next page where we're back on Teletron 1, right?
So they're in the Ark.
Okay, they're in the
That's that
Ark.
spaceship where they crash landed
And
in.
in the
Uh,
Ark, Teletron 1 is in it.
yes, there we go. It's their supercomputer.
And I guess they sacrifice their friend to kind of have to help power Telethon 1. Skywarp.
Telephone.
Telethon. And it's fun. I feel
Yeah.
bad because what's the name of the robot guy? Soundwave.
Oh,
Sound.
Soundwave, the spy. Yeah.
Yeah, because Starscream's like, let's make soldiers, and Soundwave's just like, can we save my dog? And then Starscream just kicks him. He punts him. A giant
Oh,
punt.
poor Ravage. Yeah, Ravage is actually it's Ravage trans. I think it's like a panther, so it's like
Mhm,
the cat. It's the Decepticons team pet.
mhm.
So Soundwave loves his animals, right? We have
He loves his pets. He's a collector.
he loves his pets, right? He has his little vulture spying over him, a laser beak, and then he has this cute
Mhm.
little kitty cat, Ravage, and they go way back, you know. So I think it's kind of cute too. And then during like, oh, we go, like let's start off with Ravage here, you know, and like Starsky freaking kicks the cat.
He punts him.
Like,
There's a
oh,
giant punch
yeah,
lettering underneath it.
boom, like a
Punt.
football. This goes flying. Oh, poor Soundwave. You know, he's trying to protect his little guys living in his little chest, huh? but
But he says,
uh,
we need more. It's more Soundwave. And then they bring back Thundercracker.
and of course, like Starscream would bring back one of
Mhm.
his own, you know.
Is that one of his? Is that one of the Starscream clones?
What and yeah,
It
yeah,
looks
in some
like it. It looks
iterations,
like it.
it's a Starscream clone, yeah,
Mhm.
right. But yeah, this is part of his entourage, the Seekers.
Okay, tell me what Thundercracker does. What does Thundercracker do?
Thundercracker could make loud sonic booms.
You
That's
know,
his superpower.
this is just more signs that Starscream doesn't know what the fuck he's doing because his last henchman had teleporting powers. Your last guy teleported and you brought back a guy who makes loud booms, like you sacrificed him for a
Yeah, pretty
noisemaker?
much.
Like you're
Pretty
a
much.
dumbass. Get your shit together,
Oh,
Starscream.
yeah, Thundercracker is actually he's you know what's funny in the IDW
Mm-hmm.
he kind of left the Decepticons and he kind of became a writer, a Hollywood writer,
Oh.
and he created a screenplay and he made a
Mhm.
movie actually.
Oh.
And he was, you know, he's one of those nervous, like, oh, I want to direct, I want to be the next big artist in Hollywood. And I think he makes a movie about, I don't quite remember, was it about Megatron or Starscream, about the Transformers War. And, and he just comes like the biggest goofball ever. He has like reading glasses, and he's like, oh, you know, he adopts a dog,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like living in a giant ass studio apartment. And like, so when I see Thundercracker, I
Uh-huh.
just laugh. I get a good big laugh
All
out
right.
because
Well,
he's a big goofball.
hopefully he survives.
Hopefully, so he can start writing again. Yeah.
And we find out that Starscream incoming report from Laserbeak. The Autobots have found our source of energy. And he's like, "What? But that's Oz!" And then we hear, comics love doing voices off panel because you never know who it is. There's a voice off panel that says, "So let's go get it." And we see Frenzy and who are these? See, I need you here because I don't know who these people are.
Yeah.
We
Okay. Here we go.
Frenzy and Refractor. Who is Frenzy and
Yes.
Reflector?
So Frenzy is one of the little guys that lives in
Okay.
Soundwave's chest.
Okay.
Frenzy, not to be confused with uh, Rumble, because
Mm-hmm.
Rumble looks exactly like Frenzy, and there's always been a back and forth thing. So back in like the 80s and 90s, in the
Mm-hmm.
Transformers comics, um, and the Transformer TV show, they looked exactly identical. They had different color schemes. So
Mm-hmm.
like Frenzy was red in the comics, and then Rumble was blue.
Mm-hmm.
But then in the TV show, Frenzy was blue,
Oh.
and Rumble was red. So that's where Transformers fans always go back and forth, like, oh, he's red, no, he's blue. The blue one's red, you know. So that's a little fun thing about them. And then Reflector is a goon. He's just a
Yeah,
freaking
he
goon.
has like a
So
turbine in his chest. He has like a
oh,
little.
he's a camera. He transforms into a camera. So
Oh,
that's his little lens.
he should
Yeah,
team
yeah,
up
yeah.
with the other guy and make movies.
There you go, right? But I kind of like how I never seen like the
Mhm.
original Generation One, but I don't know. To me, he seems kind of like Shakespearean, you know, like it's good
Mhm.
to be back and folk. Yeah, and he always says like those little puns, those
Mhm.
camera puns.
Interesting because you see that I guess Reflector is like, it's good to be back in focus, Starscream. Where is
Yeah,
Meg? And then he just gets interrupted.
that's exactly how I was picturing his voice to be
Yeah,
like.
100%. I was like, it's good to be back in focus, Starscream. Where is? And then Starscream's like, go for it, please.
Stay focused on the enemy, Reflector. These filthy Autobots want to take out. Wait, take what? Everything I lost that for a second.
You know what? That's what he would do. He would be like,
Yeah.
whatever.
Ah, whatever. I like that, like, he's dodging every
Mhm.
question, like, being asked to him, right? Like, I think at the page before, like, Thundercracker's like, "What happened to,
Mhm.
shit."
Yeah,
Even I'm
Thundercracker.
forgetting this
Yeah, Thundercracker's like, what happened to
I'm forgetting the names, I'm a bad Transformers
we'll
fan.
go back.
What happened to,
Skywarp, Skywarp,
Skywalker?
Skywarp.
We're terrible about it. That same thing,
You
he
are
was like,
not me. I'm
"Nah," he goes,
new. I'm new at
"Yeah."
this. It's you.
God damn it, you're right. But I like how he was like, "Nah, no, don't."
Yeah.
He volunteered his life, to for the greater good. Like they didn't mention like they freaking
Mhm.
tearing him apart like a cannibal.
But they all leave. I think it's funny because the I don't know if it was a deliberate choice, but you see the two guys transforming into jets, but you just see what's his face? His hands are just
Soundwave.
Soundwave,
Oh
his
yeah, yeah.
arms are just up like he's flying Superman style. Like you don't see him
Yeah,
transform. It's very
that's how he
funny.
does it in the cartoon show. They do never explain how he's able to fly because he
Mhm,
transformed to a boombox, right?
mhm. You don't
Yet
need to.
he's still able to. So I was like, okay, no one really questions it.
Like you see the
Like,
camera guy
yeah,
transform into a camera.
yeah, they see him transform to Captain. He's
Uh,
attached to Starscream, but then I don't know. Yeah, yeah.
it's just it's not like a nitpick. It's just like fun.
It looks cool. Don't get me
Mhm.
wrong.
But after that, we cut back to the generator, and we were given information earlier that the bird, the bad bird, picked up the fact that the Autobots are now using the same idea that they're doing it. He's like, "Let's go get our things back."
That's perfect. You
And
summarized it perfectly.
I, I don't know anybody's name, but Spike was like, "Hey, you guys were looking for energy. Well, there's a big ass dam right here. Just take it from the source." And Wheeljack, apparently, they built half of him up, and him
Oh,
and the red white guy, I forget his name,
Ratchet.
Ratchet, Wheeljack and Ratchet kind of rigged together this sort of spinning generator. And it's really cool because they say, like, oh, if water's turbine works, the engine I constructed won't just fuel us. Your entire town will be powered for at least a decade. And it's just so interesting because you see just the two parallels between these Transformers and how they operate. When the Decepticons showed up to take electricity, it was purely a one-sided thing. But when the Autobots come, they're like, okay, well, we're gonna recharge ourselves, but how are we also gonna help the people around us?
100%.
Mhm,
It's that idea of how you take a gift, right? Like
mhm,
the Decepticons, they see something and they think it's theirs, right? Like, and it's
mhm.
theirs to take. But then the Autobots, right? We see how they're good guys, and they're like, oh wow, they take this gift, and but then they give it back in return, right? They're gracious enough to be like, hey, well, you help me, I'll help you out. Let's create some energy for your guys' town.
Do you think there's been some college student who wrote a paper about? I don't know why this just popped into my head. Do you think there's been a college student who wrote a paper about how the Decepticons are late stage capitalists and the Autobots are communists? Is that a thing? You think there's been?
There should be. If there hasn't been a paper already, there should be. Shout out to any
I
college student.
shout out to
Needs a
any.
paper
If
trail.
you're listening to this right now, you write me a paper and I'll read it. But
We'll read it for you. We'll put it on
we'll put
blast
it. Yeah, we'll read it on the show. We'll read it on the show. We'll go
for
if
sure.
even if it's 100 pages, we'll go through it. Both Rudy and I are not strangers to digging through long documents, especially for you with
Oh,
your masters. So
tell me
you're
about it,
used to
man.
it.
So I've been there. I've been
You've
there.
been
But
there.
I love the fact that it was good to see Wheeljack because
Hmm.
I've seen him since like issue number one, laying lifeless on the floor.
Hmm.
And I love Wheeljack. He's one of my favorite like Autobots.
Is
He's
he like
very
an
eccentric.
engineer?
He's like the scientist, like a bit of a
Uh,
mad scientist, very eccentric, very loud, very boastful.
hmm.
So there's some iterations where he actually like he has like a sometimes people call him daddy because he has like a pretty like
Oh,
cool like mustache,
daddy.
handlebar goatee mustache kind of thing going on. Um when he removes that faceplate, of course. He looks pretty good looking in some iteration.
Oh
And
my
then
gosh.
Transformers Prime iteration, he's kind of seen like the um the rule breaker, the one who always
Hmm.
goes, doesn't follow orders, more actiony type. He has like katana swords
Hmm.
and stuff. I
Oh
think
my
Transformers
gosh.
Prime kind of shifted away from him being like
Hmm.
the genius inventor and whatnot, and made him more like a cool badass. But I've always liked the classic
Hmm.
mad scientist type of vibe he always gives off.
And he's doing his mad scientist stuff right now. Spike is staring at him in disbelief. He's like, a decade?
Yeah.
And then there's a really cool panel here where they say 10 years of power. And I think Wheeljack's just like Cybertronian ingenuity for you.
There we go.
And then they activate it and it's working. And they say, Optimus, we're in business. Let's get you fixed up. And he goes, not yet. And then it's
Oh,
very okay. There's a very famous comic panel where Superman is holding Supergirl and she's like dead in his arms. Have you seen that?
no, I have not.
I'll send it to you. Maybe it's in the site, guys. So I feel like you might have seen it. But there's a very famous panel, and it's very much. It reminds me of this. Like, oh, I'm carrying my comrade, and she looks fucked up. She looks really fucked up.
Poor RC, but it's so good
For
to see
RC,
here.
he's
When I
carrying
first saw it, I was like,
RC. Yeah.
yes, RC. Like
Hmm.
you and I always talk about RC. We love her so much.
I know nothing
Even when,
about her. I know nothing about her.
yeah,
Either.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just
You know
support
nothing about
women.
her,
I
but you love her
support
so much.
women.
Yeah, that's right, right?
Hmm.
Even like in every show or movie, they only show her for like 5 seconds, here and there. But I love her. She's one of my favorite characters. And let's see what happens. Like this first are warriors, and I thought like Optimus was going to like repair himself.
No, that's not the Optimus way. That's not the Optimus
No,
way.
it's not. You're right. It's not. He needs to though, man. Like he's one of the
Mhm.
heavy hitters, but he brings out RC, and for good reason.
And once again, it's that thing where you strip away the background and you just have these two figures with white behind them just to emphasize like the importance of what's happening. So it's such a cool way to not only save your time on self on drawing, but like give the image more impact. So it's just so much cooler with him carrying RC and there's just white behind him. It like emphasizes their figure on the page so much and it's very good. And he
Focuses right on them.
responds and he says first our warrior. So is RC like a big warrior?
You know what? Yes, yeah.
Okay.
She's always been a fighter.
Hmm.
In some iterations, I'll get a little bit into. Uh, I like the little nod they give in the next couple pages of
Hmm.
her interaction with Ratchet because
Okay, let's go to the next page. Let's go to the
okay,
next
okay.
page then.
Let's go to the
And you're
next
gonna
page.
tell me about it. But we go to the next page
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they put her into like this gurney thing and electricity goes and he says, RC, welcome back, girl. And she's like, Ratchet, my
Yeah.
old friend. And she goes, Ratchet. And they have 3 seconds to hang out when suddenly, get
Oh my
down.
god.
And they're
Just like
instantly under
that.
attack. And it's funny because Ratchet's just like, first thing you do after waking up is save me, huh? And she's just like, I see not much has changed.
Yeah.
That's instantly
I,
banter, instantly.
yeah, instantly. Yeah, they
Mhm.
have had a bit of history. I like
Romantic?
No, not romantic. Always
Okay.
been like platonic. Actually, at one point,
Mhm.
it was maybe more like a student and a teacher. I would say.
Oh, okay.
Um, but and Transformers animated, like mid 2000s.
Mhm.
They that I guess that's kind of where there was that bit of a spark between the two.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of fan fiction of them kind of shipping it with each other. But pretty much in the Transformers animated, it was more of like a reconnaissance mission. Like
Mhm.
Ratchet was working with RC because RC had like these very important codes that
Mhm.
she needed to give to the Autobots about this super secret project to build this giant weapon. And this giant weapon was pretty much a giant transformer. Uh,
Mhm.
and actually, in some iterations, maybe it'll be in this one. Who knows? That transformer was the Arc,
Oh.
uh, because the Arc is actually a transformer. Sometimes Omega Supreme, sometimes it goes by a different
Mhm.
name, but it's an ultimate weapon for the Autobots that help them turn the tide. In the other iterations, it's just a ship that just transports them. But
Gotcha.
in that, I really like the dynamic of what Transformers animated did between the two of them because I, um, Ratchet had PTSD from his encounters during the war. Because one of the big reasons was because he accidentally wiped RC's memory like completely. They got captured, and RC was like, "You got to remove these codes from my head, or else you're going to extract them." And he tried to do it, but then they got caught by the bad guys. There was a bit of a scuffle, and during that process, he took a little too much. So he's always had that guilt,
Oh. Mhm.
and since then he's always trying to like make up for it. So that's kind of the relationship that they've had. But they were like good buddies, were like good working buddies. But yeah, RC has always been a bit of a warrior. Except for Transformers animated, she was more of like reconnaissance, and
Mhm.
before the war, she was a teacher, I believe. She was like
Oh,
teaching little kids.
wow.
She was in some iterations. She taught kids to like do like. how to transform and figure out what your
Mhm.
role is in society and things like that. So that's kind of her backstory.
I know she was in the I think it's was it Beast Wars or what was the movie that recently came out? She was one of Optimus's gang.
Oh, that's right.
She
Yeah,
was
yeah,
one
yeah.
I
Rise of the
remember
Beast.
Rise of the Beast. She was one of the ones, and I think that's the first time she ever had lines in those movies. Yeah,
Yeah, I'll
so
tell you. She was only
mhm,
there for like a couple seconds here and there, right? And every time she showed up, she did like a couple cool backflips. I like that. But yeah, yeah. So it's
mhm.
good that she's getting some screen time, and hopefully we get to see more of her. Get
And
to
you
see
know
more of her
what?
because,
In sorry, go ahead.
in the IDW,
Mhm.
there was some controversy
Controversy.
because the writers they they trying to figure out how to kind of shorten, like explain, but in a short way. She was transgender.
Okay.
She, but the way and this is where the controversy kicks in because the writers, apparently, she was experimented on.
Mhm.
She was originally a male transformer, and she was experimented on to become a female transformer. But during that process, they became an ultimate warrior. But in the IDW, the writers kind of made it seem like she turned into a monster, uh,
Oh
because of
yeah.
her transitioning. So that's where a lot of the LGBTQ community is like, well, like, why you got to portray her as if she's a freak, as if something's wrong with her, right?
Mhm.
And why are you making it seem like she was she's an experiment? Like
Yeah,
that's bad messaging altogether. So
I could
that's
definitely see
always been
that.
that was a big controversy. But I have no idea why they did that because in the cartoon shows and the early iterations, she was just a female
Mhm.
transformer.
I we could have a whole thing on that on that conversation.
Literally a big whole thing for
But
that. Yeah, definitely.
let's it's outside the scope of this. Very interesting footnote. I'm gonna keep that in mind. But let's go to the next page because the Decepticon starts circling, and you see even Spike with his little rifle is still helping. He's still shooting,
Look at that.
and Optimus is just like, Autobots, protect the turbine at all costs. Ratchet, get more Autobots down here now. And who are they carrying? Ratchet and RC are carrying. Is that the
Oh,
guy?
well, that's a Jazz, the one that
Jazz.
did like the
Oh
musical number
right,
at the
love
beginning. He's a
Jazz.
cool one. Yeah, we love Jazz here. And then it moves
Mhm.
on to Starscream, like, it's reflector attack. And then I love your voice. Always be
Oh
like, oh
yes, prepare
yes, yes.
yourself for ISO Autobots, instant suffering and obliteration. Oh dear. He's
I
like, oh
freaking love these
dear.
brothers. Like he knows what's coming for
uh,
him. It took him a second to recognize, like, wait, I've seen that cannon
mhm.
before. And he's like, oh shit, yeah. Like he's about to go down.
I like on his back. It kind of looks like it says Sony, but it says Zony.
Oh, I
It
didn't
says
notice that.
Zony, like a Sony
Zony.
camera, but it says Zony. I think that's
Oh,
very
that's
funny. Like
funny.
as he transforms from camera to warrior, and he's like, "Oh dear!" And then Optimus with Megatron's blaster just shoots him, like he's
Oh,
eviscerated. Like,
honestly, damn man, he's like gets obliterated. And I had a feeling
Mhm,
they're gonna do this to reflect because
mhm,
when I think I kind of ranted a little. I think the last issue, we
mhm.
are like, who are they reviving after
Yeah, I remember you're
this
like,
Anthony
"Why are they
Cyborg?
bringing back this person? Bring back that."
Like I thought they're gonna bring out the big guns,
Mhm.
right? And like they bring out Reflector. He's just a goon, and well, there we go. He dies.
You know what? He was probably about brought back first because he's Starscream's friend, and Starscream was like, "I'm gonna bring back my friends first."
Oh,
He's-
honestly, I didn't even know Starscream had friends, but all
oh well,
right.
like his version of friends.
His version of friends,
But
right? Yeah.
this feels, I feel Optimus loves grabbing people and throwing them because he grabs another Decepticon just like
Oh,
mollywops him to the ground. And you can see this guy is just fucked up. Like his
Rumble,
jets
he got
rumble, and
good.
he's fucked up
Hey,
in
no,
his
no, not
snatches.
Rubble,
Or
Rumble. I know
rumble,
how much you like.
sorry.
Nah,
Oh,
I know. I don't want to hear that name ever
But
again.
I love the lettering because it's just snatch, crack. Like they're just so static. The letters behind them as the movement's done. You see when he snatches them, snatch, and then crack. It's so good.
And you could feel that crack.
Hmm.
Like, I could even see it in
Oh my
Rumble's face.
gosh.
Like, he looks done for it.
But we cut over to the next page where we see Carly with a hand cut. Carly's trying to help. I respect Carly. And he's like, stay down, Carly. And she's like, I can fight too. And then it does not go well.
It
and she
does.
falls off, and they go, Carly, no, and then she starts falling, and Arcee does this cool shit where
I
she's just
love
like,
that.
I don't know who you are, but if Optimus cares about you, she like slides up this ravine.
There's a drift.
Yeah,
That's
she
so
just like
bad.
I could feel like da 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 da, da like the Tokyo Drift,
Yeah,
music as she drifts, and it's this really cool panel as she's catching Carly in the car and like spinning. It's really cool.
that's badass. And I love how
Mm,
she's like sports car, how she goes
mm,
vertical. You don't see the transformation all the way, right? But like you just see those action shots of going up, and then
mm.
skidding, and just catching you right on time. Oh, I love it.
And you see her catch it, and he's like, hell yeah, good to have you back, RC. And then Jazz saves our Bumblebee clone. Cliff
Bumblebee.
Jumper, shout out Cliff Jumper. I just remembered his name. And
Man, there you
Jazz
go.
saves him. Jazz has a shotgun. I don't know where Jazz got a shotgun, but this guy's down. This guy with what is it? He's like shaking arms.
Oh,
I forget his
frenzy.
name. What's his name with
Frenzy.
the
I think
guy
that's
with
Rumble.
the earthquake arms? I forget his name.
Rumble. Rumble. That's Rumble.
Rumble,
Rumble.
and he's about to earthquake Cliff Jumper, but then Jazz saves him. And I think this is the first time that the Autobots are like winning. Like this
It
is
looks like it's a good side up. Yeah, they
huh.
got Jazz and doing his little musical
Hmm.
puns, and I like even how like, yeah, they're on the winning side. It looks like it, like they're tearing everyone down. I like the little like snarky side comments, like "Come on, time to wrap up this ballad," and like Cliff Jumper's like, "I don't understand that reference."
They're just shooting.
Look at the picture. Yeah.
But we cut to the next page where should we do these dialogues? You
Oh
be
yeah.
okay, go for it.
You taking something so precious and using it for your own evil purpose.
Precious. Are you sure this doesn't make you quake in your jet star scream? Last I remember, you were cowering in front of this very weapon, a constant reminder of what you'll never be. Which is,
Ah!
it's just more. Every issue gives you little tidbits of what happened to Megatron. And
Yeah.
clearly Optimus knows. Clearly Optimus knows what happened to Megatron with the way he's talking. And luckily Optimus tries to shoot him, but Starscream freaking out ducks. Of course, there's the lettering again, the giant duck as he slides under duck, and then he shoots
Generator.
their generator. Who's that Autobot on the gurney there on the regen? Do you know the Autobot?
Ooh. Oh shoot! I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, there's an Autobot that was
Uh,
charging up.
I wonder if
I
that's Mirage.
It might be Mirage. I don't know. Does he make
That's Mirage.
mirages?
Yes, he does. He makes little clones of himself.
I don't care about Mirage. Where's Windblade?
When
I'm
you
just
know
kidding.
what? That's a good question. We have not seen Windblade in
Mhm,
years. I wonder how she's doing. But I like how again, like you said a little earlier,
mhm,
like everyone knows like Megatron and Starscream's
mhm,
relationship, and it's not a good one. It's very abusive. Every iteration
mhm,
has it like that. Starscream wants to be the leader. Megatron is not having none of it. Matter of fact, like
mhm,
Megatron um, keeps Starscream like as a pet close to his leash, and he knows like Starscream like is trying to stab him in the back. And he knows that actually he wants him to try it just so he could prove him a lesson. Like don't you forget your like know your place. Like
mm,
you know here I'm the leader of the Decepticons. I'm more powerful than you, and you know it. You could try to do your
yeah.
little snarky little trips, traps here and there, but I'm going to remind you who the real leader is, and that's always been their relationship. Starscream's
Mhm.
actually very much afraid of Megatron. He may always seem so tough and violent, but he's deathly afraid of Megatron.
It's like being friends with a rich person that keeps you around just so they can flex.
Well, honestly, yeah, that's all it is. But then it tries to kill you as well,
Oh
which a
yeah.
rich person would do, like these little
Rich people
snarky
do that.
puns.
I've seen
Yeah.
Squid
Oh,
Games.
yeah.
But Starscream shoots out the Autobots generator. The next page, victory for the Decepticons. Yeah. And then Optimus shoots him in like the Transformer spleen. Like like the poses
Oh,
here are great.
spleen. Oh.
And let me tell you, it's do none of them fly? Are there none of them flyers?
Autobots? Mm, there's a
Be,
couple.
okay,
There's Jetfire that can
okay.
fly.
I mean of
Sounds.
the group right here that we have
Oh
assembled.
no, none of those
Okay,
ones.
because
No.
if they got in the air, they might have been able to finish the fight.
You know what? Honestly, they would have, yeah. And
Mhm,
actually, that's a good thing you pointed out because that
mhm,
was something like the creators of Transformers were trying to play around with. The good guys were automobiles, right? Autobots were
mhm,
automobiles, and the Decepticons always be like flying machines, like
mhm,
jet fighters, rockets, and things like that. And even in Transformers Animated, they played with that idea where the Transformers were all like vehicles,
mhm,
and in order to win to turn the tide of the war, because Decepticons always had air superiority over the Autobots,
mhm.
they started experimenting on creating Autobots that could fly, and that was a big thing. Oh, like, and so that's when Jetfire comes into us. So maybe we'll see Jetfire down the road, but oh no, we did see Jetfire. He died. Remember in issue number one, he was a jet, and he's one of the first ones to
Ah,
die. Remember? I know it was like months ago.
it
He was
was
all
months
white.
ago.
He was like a white and red streak, and
Oh,
I
was it when Starscream woke up and he just started murking people?
yeah, and like
Damn.
Starscream straight up shoots him in the gut. Yeah, that was Jetfire. So he's one of the very few that could fly. Omega Supreme could
Mhm.
fly. That's the arc that I was telling you about.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's always been a thing. Like, how can we win this war? We need more flyers, you know.
Yeah,
So
the creator of the Transformers really just said, "Fuck the Wright brothers. We're gonna do our own thing."
honestly, yeah.
But Optimus says, "Finally, our numbers are in favor against the Decepticons. They're on their back jets. Now is our chance to retake the Ark." And as they're like, "Count us in, Prime Autobots. Let's." And Carly's like, "I'm coming
Oh,
with you guys." And
I
I
didn't.
feel, mhm,
I wanted to hear the rollout.
roll out. I feel really bad because Carly points out that Spike's in a coma. Oh wait, I thought the dad was Spike. What did I say? What's this dad name of this shit? I'm sorry. I've been
Sam?
calling Sam. I've been calling the
Yeah,
dad Spike this whole time. Dad's name
it
is
is
Sam.
Spike. No,
No, he
oh,
said
it's Sam.
Spike's in a
Oh
coma.
shit! Even I got it wrong.
Okay, Carly says Spike's in a coma. My family, because we saw her dad die,
Scott.
and
Damn it.
I need to see this to the end. And it's sad because I see her point, but also she'll just be she's not the humans help in unexpected ways. That's the thing about Transformers series. The humans always come in clutch
Yes.
in some sort of way.
Yeah.
But right now they're not thinking of that right now. They're thinking like every soldier branch out. And I feel bad for Carly because what is she supposed to do? Just sit on her ass and see if any who dies and lives and have nothing a part of it?
I 100%
Mhm.
agree. You know, like there's no worse feeling than feeling helpless, right? You want to help,
Mhm.
and like the team thinks you're a liability, right? She
Mhm.
almost died like
She
a couple
did.
ages ago. Thank God there was RC, you know.
And it's funny
But
that Cliff Jumper grabs her. Is like, you're right, Carly. We should
yeah,
be there when you finally stop the Decepticons for good.
I love that. I like how he just
Mhm.
yanks you, like, just grabs
Yep.
you like midair with his little transformer arm.
It feels
Yeah,
earned. They've had a little friendship brewing in the
yeah, I love
pages.
that. Got a little buddy ship going on.
So we cut over to the next page where they get over to the arc, and I think we fully changed because I think it was like it was afternoon, and now it's nightish time because the
Mhm.
stars are out. And yes, the vessel that brought us to our planet, and shit. Ben was I forgot the dad's name again. Sam.
Sam.
Sam. Sam says, "Is that the vessel? Is that your spaceship?" And Optimus replies, "That's the vessel that brought us to our planet." And then there's a vertical panel that reminds him of his own. I was no. It's been a couple issues. Was
It
that
was his son.
his
I think
son?
it was his other
His son
son.
was an astronaut and died. So we have a vertical panel of him. Take care of yourself, Jimmy. And then it's just, oh, there's so much emotion mixed in there.
Yeah, I don't remember him being an astronaut. I thought he was a soldier just like him. Was I wrong? Am I wrong?
I don't remember.
I
I
don't remember,
don't.
right? So this is new information for
Mhm.
me. So is he an astronaut? Is he an astronaut soldier? Did he die in the rocket ship? That's where I'm at.
Or are they going to do a thing where later on they found out he died from a Decepticon or something? Like, are we going to find that out now
Or
that
is
he's in
he a GI
space?
Joe? You know, like it's like there's the
Oh,
Energon universe
hmm,
kind of thing. Because actually, I was reading up about the Energon universe Skywarp's trying to do, and like
hmm.
there's a Megatron's already popped up in Cobra Commander.
Do we have to read Cobra Commander now?
I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't. And then I
uh,
hear there's another like famous Autobot named Springer, and
hmm.
he's like popped up in
Like
one of their
Jerry,
other comic books too. Jerry Springer,
he's just
Transformer
an Autobot.
he's a helicopter transformed to a car. He's one of the very first like triple changers, and he's like
Oh.
a pretty cool soldier. He pops up in one of the other issues, like what, So I don't know what's going on, but anyway,
But
this is
yeah,
this is an explosion.
yeah, they're heading towards the arc, and then suddenly they're hit, and Optimus goes, "What?" And then this giant, it looks like a construction vehicle, heavy metal, giant letters. It bashes in Optimus's face. Optimus rolls around,
He looks wrecked.
and what's it? Who's the guy who gets his leg cut off? Who's this?
That's Ratchet, the
Ratchet.
medic.
Damn it. Okay, Ratchet. I'm learning them. It's see, the thing is, if these comics weren't once a month, I would learn the names better. But they're once a month, and I forget.
Yeah. We gotta do this more option.
And I would love for you to do a voice here if you could.
I knew you'd follow me, Autobot fools, trying to clean up the mess you made of our kind, eh? But look at me now, and I'm good as new with all the Energon, with Teletran 1, with new toys. And then there we go.
We see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got like 6 of these green guys.
I got the names. No,
Okay.
You gotta memorize them, all right?
Okay. From left.
Scrapper.
Okay.
Bone Crusher.
Okay.
Scavenger.
Okay.
Mixmaster.
Okay.
Hook.
Okay.
And Long Haul.
Okay.
And then sometimes there's
no.
Digger.
No, I don't.
And
don't give me any more names. Please stop. I can't take any more names.
Hightower and Scoop. But in other iterations, there's Buckethead, Hightower, Quick Mix, Wide Load, Steam Hammer, and Scavenger, right? So from the top, hit me. What are the names?
We go to the next page where Constructicons merge into, and all these Constructicons, they jump together and they turn into like this giant they call him the Devastator, and it's this giant. The thing about this series, it's done a really good job emphasizing the size of things. You know, we've seen Optimus to a human, we've seen Carly and Cliffjumper, but this Devastator is, I don't know, like 8 Optimuses standing on top of each other height. Like, this guy's huge.
Lives up to their name. They cause utter destruction, and I was super excited to see them. I didn't think they were gonna bring combiners and so early into the comic book series. So whenever Transformers like combine into one giant, like multiple Transformers turned into like something bigger, they're called combiners. And Devastator is one of the most famous ones of them all. There's some that transform into cities, to like boats. There are the aerial bots, all airplanes. They all transform to like a jet. But Devastator, the Constructicons are always like the goons are always constructing the bases.
Yeah.
Build us this laser that would destroy the humans' minds. Like they always build the base and things like that. They're the construction things, and I always like it. In Transformers Animated, they had like New York, Brooklyn accents. Like they were actually like construction workers. Like there was one with a pot belly, one with kind of like a beard, and they're like, "Hey!" There's like a funny moment where like there's like sexy like Porsche kind of driving by, and they're like, "Hey, baby, like show me your motor," like something like that. Like, "Hey, baby, how you doing?" Things like that. And they like to like sit all day, drink motor oil. They don't like to build things. They just like to relax. So I like that kind of joke they did. But Devastator is no joke.
He's no joke.
They're up for a big boss battle for the next issue.
And the last thing I noticed is that Optimus's left arm is all fucked up, and I'm just like, Optimus, you need to watch out for your arms, man. What's happening there? Like you lost one arm, and now your other. But
he's a wreck.
He's a wreck.
Will they make it, or is someone gonna die?
Find out next time on Energon Universe's Transformers Robots in Disguise, and there's just letter pages. But yeah, that's it. It's I don't mean this with any disrespect to the next artist and colorist, but it's gonna be hard reading this. It's not hard. It's gonna be weird reading this without Daniel Warren Johnson on art.
Yeah, he does such a great job. So his next one. So was this his last one?
No, I think this is 5. I think he has 2 more.
2 more.
Because I believe he leaves the book at 7, and then at 8, because issue 7, I think, is the end of the arc.
Okay. That's right. Yeah, I think they mentioned that in the Q and A in the end.
Mhm.
But let's enjoy it while it lasts. Like I love his
Mhm.
art. I like the direction he goes for, the shading and lighting. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how
I
it goes
think
because I know
mhm.
I've seen some artists, like, oh, why do they keep doing Transformers art and they keep bringing him on? I'm like, oh man,
I think
why can't you
especially
bring?
for me, because this is the only Transformers I've ever read, really, aside from one issue that depressed me because my character died in it. But
Oh,
this is
got to move on. Huh?
shout out
Don't.
Rubble. But yeah, this is my only. It's like the first art I've been exposed to, and I love them. But I like the artists they're bringing in, so I'm down to give it a try. But yeah, what's your overall thoughts about the issue?
I
Uh,
loved seeing
mhm,
RC. I love how each issue they bring more and more
mhm,
characters that like any Transformers fan would know and love. And I hope new readers get excited to get to know some of these characters more. I know some of them are just like one little goons that they get rid of, but I really want to see how the Autobots, their team, how it continues to grow and to build, and I want to see how that dynamic works out.
uh huh,
I remember reading their Q&A, and I think someone asked like, "What's going on with Bumblebee?" And they made it. I think they made it official. They're like, "We're going with a different direction," and
mhm,
I like that. I've always liked when they kind of sway from the norm, right? Bumblebee's super popular. Anyone would think like, "Are you out of your mind?" Like Bumblebee is in right now. Kids dress up as Bumblebee for Halloween. Everyone like
he had a movie. He had a
he
movie. He
just
was a
had a
center.
movie, and why are you replacing it with Cliff Jumper? Well, you know what? Sometimes a change.
Oh, but you
So
notice in the Rise of the Beast Wars, Bumblebee was knocked out for most of that movie.
oh yeah, yeah. Something bad always happens to Bumblebee. He loses his voice. He dies. Comes back alive. So, but kids love Bumblebee. But
Hmm.
I like how they're going through a different direction, still trying new things. They're not going with the norm. So I love how each issue keeps getting better, better with that. Like I was surprised that they brought in a combiner.
Hmm.
Devastated about combiners. I was so happy to see RC. I love how they expand more between the relationship between Sam and Optimus when it comes to
Hmm.
war. So I want to see where it goes next. The Autobots need a big break, and right when you
They
think they
do.
have that big break, damn man, like it gets sidelined, So I just want I hope this boss battle they win it.
I hope they win it too. I think the Bumblebee comments is very interesting that they're going in a different direction if they're gonna have him out of the if they're not gonna have him on the board for a while. Especially because I think in our last video you really mentioned about how a lot of the spotlight and a lot of the things Cliff Jumper is doing is something you'd normally expect to see from Bumblebee.
Yeah, exactly. Human
So
relationship. Yeah.
how are they gonna characterize him? Is it gonna be sillier? Is it gonna be more goofy? Like what differences are gonna put with Bumblebee? And I think we're gonna have to wait and see. And I'm gonna, you know what, Skybound. I know you're listening to this because they're our biggest fans. We're getting like consistent views of like 20 to 30. So
Yeah, hell
I
yeah.
I know
Thank
Skybound.
you.
I know. Thank you, everyone. I know Skybound is watching this. Hire Rudy to do a Bumblebee comic where he
Got you.
give. Okay, I'm a Skybound businessman. Oh, Rudy, Rudy, we looked through your Twitter. We know you love the Transformers.
Oh yeah,
Give us a
big fan.
Bumblebee pitch. Give us a pitch about a Bumblebee
Oh,
story.
oh shit. All right, all right, all
Uh,
right, all right,
six
all right.
issue. You got 6 issues. It's a mini.
Oh, all right. Get this.
Okay.
So Bumblebee, right?
Okay.
He's Optimus' sidekick.
Okay.
Now he wants to make it off on his own, and he wants to
Okay.
be his own big hero. That's it.
Okay.
He's breaking the ranks of the Autobots. He's doing his own party, and he wants to prove it to himself that
Mm-hmm.
he is a hero, just like his best buddy Optimus Prime. There we
All
go. And
right.
then he goes some crazy things, and at the end of it, he figures out that he's been a hero all along. So
He's
there you
been
go.
here all along. Is he also gonna have PTSD like Optimus?
Oh, 100%.
I feel like a mandatory thing to be an Autobot is to have PTSD. Like you have to have it.
Oh, 100%. You gotta be tired. You gotta sound tired. You gotta like groan every time you transform. Oh, you know.
No,
But all right, what did you think of the issue?
I had a lot of fun. I like the idea of them fighting. This like they're this is like the climax. Like if this was a movie and the entire time they're like gathering allies and building relationships, this would be part of the big climax where they're all fighting against this giant guy. And I'm very excited to see where it goes. I think it's interesting that there's at least I'm pretty sure there's 2 issues left for this arc, so I'm interested to see where it goes and if we are going to find out what happened to Megatron because last issue we got teased that he's stuck in ice, and apparently he showed up in Cobra Commander. Like, what are you do? Are they experimenting on him? Did the Cobra? Did what is the name of the bad guys? Is it Cobra? What
I
was
think
it?
it's Cobra Commander. No,
Okay.
I don't,
No, that's
I
the
don't
name of
know.
the guy.
Oh,
Are they experimenting on the Autobots? Like, did they find Megatron? And
I don't
I don't know.
know.
I don't
In the
know.
past, Hasbro, they always like to make their big bad baddies like
Mhm.
kind of be best buddies. So in the past, it's not unusual that Cobra Commander and Megatron always kind of be like, hey, let's both destroy the world,
Mhm.
let's both destroy the Earth. So I'm not surprised that will happen again
Mhm.
this summer.
But yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes. Rudy, as we wrap this up, do you have anything to tell our audience? You want to plug anything?
Yes, you could catch me on social media. Rudy's all right, where I'll post stuff about the river and
That's true. He
space
does.
and a bunch of nature stuff. So just follow
Oh
me up
yeah,
and
Rudy
things
might
like that.
become a he might become a nature influencer blogger. I'm just saying now would be the time to start. If you wanted to start like a nature TikTok, Instagram, I think you'd kill it. I think you would.
Yes, yes, maybe that's something to think about. But first and always, a Transformers fan.
First and always, it'll be nature and travel, and then Transformers. And then you just switch
Transformers
back
here
and
and there,
forth.
sprinkle it around.
And if you want to find me, you can find me at Rudy is all right across the
Hey,
board. You can find me at Noah is Garcia on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. You can find my photography, which I post once every 4 months. I post some stuff, but you
you
can
can
find
post
my.
more stuff, man.
It's because I'm really into film, but I don't shoot a lot of film, so I need to get back into shooting film. But the point is that you can find my photography work at Noah Garcia underscore photography. And yeah, that's it. Thanks, guys. Thank
Oh,
you for everyone watching. Thank you for all the consistent viewers.
thank you.
Skybound, reach out to Rudy. Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.